Oh my gosh, you were like 3 seconds behind on that one.
Well,
Did you notice that?
um,
See, I can see you now, so.
I can see you too.
Okay, you gotta talk louder.
I can see you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before, when you were doing
How
the,
is it over there?
it's very nice over here. It's not California. How's it over there?
Definitely not California. That's
so,
what I was trying to tell you.
what?
Is yesterday I went into the store and I was very disappointed to see that they had Halloween candy out already. And it just reminded
Oh,
me
no.
that we're right around the corner from winter and I need to get the heck out of here before winter hits. I'm not doing another winter here.
How many times
And-
have you?
and
How
I
many times
seen-
have you said that?
And I seen the trees.
By the way, guys, you ought to see producer Barbie today. She's
No, listen,
showing.
No. And some of the trees, some of the tips of the leaves were already starting to turn. So it seems like it's a little early, but it's a sign. It's a sign.
It's a sign.
Yes.
Do you believe there's a utopia on Earth?
No.
Do you believe there can be?
Yes.
Do you know how that could be done?
No, please explain.
So, I agree with you. But before the founding fathers created the documents that created the United States, I wouldn't have believed it then. But since that document's been created, I definitely know that there could be a utopia on Earth. The amount of money, what's the amount of money that the U.S. government,
$5 trillion.
a year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously, 100 years ago, it was comparative to the dollars. But in order for a utopia on Earth to occur, the people of the great middle class need to come together, and they need to take more control, more power, more involvement of where those dollars go. What did you say? 5 trillion, right? More, a little over that.
5 trillion.
All of that money is produced by basically, in some way or form, the great middle class of our United States has their fingerprints on it, just like every other country. Every amount of that money comes from our taxes or our sales taxes, or when we work for the big companies that build the big things, the employee. What are some of the? You know that stuff better than I do. What are some of the taxes that are taken out of employees' checks every year or every?
Oh, just like FICA taxes, unemployment, Medicare.
And all of that,
State,
all that's
federal.
coming out of your state, federal
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah.
So all of that money is what's making up the $5 trillion plus dollars that are made. Now there's interest. We can complicate that, but just real generally, if we have that control over that money,
Don't forget the taxes we pay at the end of the year when we file our taxes.
well, that's what I'm talking about. You either get paid too much, and then you'll get a return, or you haven't paid enough, and then you gotta pay more.
And then sales tax,
Yeah, I said sales tax.
you did.
Yes. So we understand that a utopia on Earth must come from the people, must be for the people, and must be by the people. And that is not going to happen until the people of the United States start honoring that document and putting some work into creating usage of that document, meaning our rights are our rights. They're slowly being taken away, and the politicians we have in office are slowly devolving our country. And yet, you and I are standing there getting mad at each other when it's the officials that are in office that are controlling all that. We don't have any control. So I'm being blamed for something that a Democrat Party or a Republican Party did. The presidents and It is all of our fault though, because in order for us to have the right people in working on that structure, then we have to be more knowledgeable of what those people stand for, what they've said in the past. Have they lied? Have they not lied? Have they made a campaign promise and then not kept it? It doesn't matter what party. We need to get people that have beliefs that lean a little bit more left, and people that have beliefs that lean a little bit more right, and then of course people that are very centered. We need to all chat about that thing, because it's being divisive. That's what the politicians want. They don't want us talking about the politics, because if they do, they keep us separated. Have you ever heard of the term divide and conquer? And by the way, that would have been a perfect yes or something, but
I was interested.
I know.
Listening.
That's the only downside of when we get into this. You start getting into it, and you got to remember that it's two of us that are here.
Yeah, but I was listening. You were on a roll.
I know. Yeah. How many minutes are we now? 6.
All
Okay.
right, let's check this out.
Well, wait. Let's make a couple more.
Okay.
Because if the sound's right, I want to make a commercial out of this.
Okay. All right. Well.
And it's only 6 minutes now. I'd like to get 20 maybe, or 10.
Well, remember we have all those other takes too.
Yeah, but I can only download one at a time, one per day. That's why I'm hoping this sound is better, because I'm going to download this one.
Oh.
Because the other one, that video, I can edit, I think, the sound down a bit through my Clipchamp, that editing software.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not bring it down by half or something like that. Because remember, I'm always mixing the sounds.
Battery's empty. It just shut off.
All right, so what was the sound good to where it is?
Sounded.
So keep going, keep talking.
It sounded fine. So we shall see, because we believe that by a simple transfer of priorities, we can expect dynamic improvements in science and social peace and education and mental health and all things that would be directed by politicians. So it benefits the individual in their responsibility.
Yeah.
Written by Rod Duff.
And here's the thing, we need politicians. We vote in people that work for us to go in and do our bidding in the democratic republic that we have.
My foot hurts.
You were yawning.
My foot hurts.
Do you yawn when your foot hurts, or you're just using that? Okay.
You lost your train of thought.
Yeah, no, I never finished that. What was I talking about?
I have no idea.
I knew it.
Written by Rod Duff.
We believe that no citizen should ever live below the poverty line, or ever suffer. There should be a limit that every citizen of the United States, there is a privilege to being a U.S. citizen because of our history and our depth. We're not here to isolate ourselves or anything like that, but we believe that every politician's decision, every action that they make, whether it be for things not directly related to us, every decision a politician makes must be proven out and can only be accepted if that decision in some way or some form benefits the general population or the region of the population of the United States of America. There's no reason for this country to have any suffering, period. I believe that an evolution is coming. The abilities for us to be there, it's just that we're using that $5 trillion towards things that aren't bettering our country. They're bettering our defense system. They're bettering our technologies that the government uses and the high end, the web and stuff like that.
Right.
But the betterment of the $5 trillion that are spent and more. I would be really interested to know, out of that money, how much of it went to something that literally improvable benefited the people of the United States of America. Not benefited America, benefited the great middle class. When we start this communication it'll take electoral cycles. It doesn't happen overnight. We've got to vote people in and out as we want them to be. We approve. Okay, you can come and stay in. Next election cycle, you didn't keep your campaign promises, you're out. Next guy coming in, next girl coming in, same thing. So that's the system we have, and that's the playbook to get to a utopian on earth.
Wow. Powerful.
It's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple.
Right. Well, and we also believe that every decision made by an elected official must first and always be judged by having the results of the action, being for and coming from the betterment of the citizens and each citizen of the United States.
Exactly.
Written by Rod Duff.
Oh, that one even had a little written by Rod Duff.
I can't take credit for your words.
That's simple, it's not easy. Here's an example. So I said it was simple, but it's not easy. So there has to be hundreds of millions of people, right? From the great middle class. We don't care about the 1%. The poverty level needs to be pulled up. This is not a socialistic or democratic or Republican idea. This is an idea that says, hey, wait, we have a contract. It's called the Constitution. And we didn't write it, but we're born here, or we're naturalized, so we get it, right? These are privileges that are said different ways. Don't want to offend anybody, so these are, as you read in the document, these are privileges given to us. They're not they're ours at birth. They're our rights. These are not things that the government of the United States is allowing us to do. These are the things that we hire politicians to do these things, and to make the people great again,
Yeah.
and make the people great again,
Absolutely.
and make the people great again.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also believe that every decision made by an elected official must first and always be judged by having the results of that action,
Mm-hmm.
being for and coming from the betterment of the citizens and each citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
Written by Rod Duff.
We also believe that the more a society does not communicate, does not interact, the more that, in direct comparison, the more that society dissolves. You're gonna make me yawn one of these times.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. This editing makes everything easy.
Yes. And with that being said, we believe the system deserves her people to not be lazy any longer. Written by Rod Duff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole problem. That's why we don't have, that's why we have what we have. We have what we have because the rewards of anything that's done are usually directly comparable to the amount of effort one puts into it. It's like you were right or wrong in a concept or a subject. You're right or wrong to the exact percentage that you know about the subject or that you don't know about the subject. You're going to be right or wrong about that. You may be opinionated and all that, but it's simple. We don't, as a people, know that much about the people, about the politicians that are coming in trying to get our
You okay there?
that are coming in. Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to do this. That are coming in wanting to hold the highest offices in our land, from state, from county, from city, all the way through into the president of these United States.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're also shocked that amongst 300,000 people, then subtract a few on age, and from cycle after cycle, these asking for highest leadership
Yeah.
roles do not
Oh,
make
yeah.
any decisions party first always into consideration and rarely considerate citizens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what you're saying there is right. I mean, if you look at cycle after cycle, the decisions that the politicians make are not based on the needs of the people that they're responsible for. It is absolutely crucial that every decision a politician makes must be judged by the effectiveness that the results of that decision had towards the people that they represent in these United States.
Absolutely. Also, the U.S. government spends, as you said earlier, $5 trillion a year. The money is not the issue. It's
No.
the fact that every penny of the money that comes in some form or another through and from the middle class, as it always has been. This goes back and before we were all called peasants by the king and their government.
Goes back to when we were called peasants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're called the great middle class, right? Or we're just called the middle class, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so that was when there were kings, and technically we still have the same system now because the free people of the United States do not follow the Constitution
Right.
and the Bill of Rights.
It's our fault.
Message of how to create this utopia on earth.
Yeah.
Written by Rod Dapp.
Take a longer pause when you do that smart alecky stuff. So we've got some great stuff here, if the sound's right. We've got 17 minutes.
I think that's good.
Hold on. Another thing, Barbie, I mean, I know we don't watch all the same stuff, but I don't know, have you seen any of the Olympics?
I watched a little bit of it. I was really impressed with the U.S.
Yeah, well, that interesting you say that, because I'm curious. So I know there's been a lot of crazy things that's been going on that's really, some of it bizarre, and those are topics for another day.
I'm not aware of that. I'd like to be enlightened on that.
Something I'll do later. My point being that these crazy things that are going on are something that disturbs me about, because I like competition. I like going to an event where the electricity, the energy of one side versus the other, and they're cheering for their team. You see it in college and you see it in high school events, and to a higher level, to the highest level, you see that competition in the Olympic Games. So it got me thinking as I'm watching the games, which, track and field and swimming and the discus and the shot put and all those wonderful games that I've said USA more than once during a show, because it was so exhilarating. The volleyball games I really like. I always like volleyball. My point is, I love those kind of competitions. So I God damn it, Daisy, go lay down. She's coming back. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can hurry up. Quiet! Okay, what was it? The Olympics. I
About
want to
the
get this out before.
competition.
Yeah. Daisy, go lay down. And especially in those competitions, you see that at that highest form. But what I'm starting to notice is that the athletes, as they're introduced out, they're also talking about the colleges that they train for, their scholarships to go to college. Hey, ma'am, can you give me? I need to say 30 seconds. Can you? Okay, thank you.
The colleges that they go to.
They come out and they introduce these athletes, and they talk about the colleges. College after U.S. college after U.S. college after U.S. college. The team from China, the team from Italy, different players. When they do their training, it's not so much their country's abilities, it's their own, which is fine. But is that really the nature and the feel of the Olympics Games in the way that it was originally conceived?
Yeah, no.
Yes, it was. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you very much.